Welcome back to Tiny Blue Games. My name's of course Csaw or Chris, and today we're talking about the Elder Scrolls Online in 2020. Today we are actually doing a bit of a gold guide for the Elder Scrolls Online. It's been a really long time since I've made a gold guide on this channel, and I kind of felt like doing it, and I also just kind of ran into something I was doing in ESO that was making a fair bit of gold pretty easily, so I thought I'd go ahead and share it. It's nothing too interesting, really. Like, you might have even seen this in other videos before, or not thought that it was really worth doing, but it does make use of a lot of the things you get when you first buy the Elder Scrolls Online. So that's kind of the beauty of this, is it doesn't require any DLCs or any of the newest expansions. It's pretty easy to do with just the base version of the game, because what we're doing is using our multiple character slots to get a fair bit of kind of passive income, but you do have to go on to each of the characters each day. So there's a little bit of stuff you have to do, but it's not too bad. So you can see here what we're doing is we're just going through our mail, and we are taking out all of the different materials we're getting mailed each day on all of our characters. And the way we're getting this material is if we go to our craft area, you'll see I have the blacksmithing, clothing, and woodworking craft, and you can go and get the hirelings. And even just by putting 1 point into each of these hirelings, you get pretty good stuff each day in your mail. I believe there are some other crafts you can do this for. For instance, I think enchanting gives you runes and stuff like that. I've just found that these three to be the best ones, and you'll see here I have all my characters on the side. I've got a total of 8, which I believe is what you get with the base game, and what I've done is I've gone on to each of these characters and I've put 3 skill points, 1 into each of the first hirelings for crafting, for the clothing, woodworking, and blacksmithing. And with that, you get a piece of mail each day. So once you do that, all you have to do is go onto each of your characters, log in, wait for the mail, there'll usually be 3 of them, to come into your inventory, and then just log out and go to the next one. What I do is I choose to open all of my mail on 1 character. Typically, it is my crafter that I do it on, but you could do it on any character. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to be doing it on a new character with nothing else in my inventory, just to get a good view of what kind of stuff you do get. Now, you'll see here you do get a fair bit of stuff, and some of it is worth quite a bit, some of it is not worth a ton, but this is from 1 day. So just 1 day on 8 of my characters. I do have 1 crafter who has higher than just the first version of the different hirelings, so there is that, but you'll notice it's pretty good. And so what the value of this here is about 2,384, and then if I was to sell it through my guild store with fees, it would go down to about 2,193 for the 1 day. And yes, one sample size is pretty small. I do hope to keep updating this video, and you'll see probably in the pinned comments, if it's been a few days from when I posted this, I'll try and keep updating kind of like the average over larger days. But for now, I just wanted to show you what it was to do the 1 day. And if you're interested, you can also check the prices of a lot of this stuff on the Tamriel Trade Center. If you go to the website, it'll give you kind of a rough pricing based on the listings in game, or you can get it as an add-on, and it's really handy and will tell you kind of the average price based on listings as well. So it's a really, really nice way to do things. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, so this is pretty nice, but you had to go and make all of these characters and give them enough crafting points to be able to add hirelings for each different levels. And yeah, that's true, but it's actually a pretty easy process. It's one of the quickest things you can do in game, and there's an additional benefit that really plays well with something that's kind of tedious to do in the Elder Scrolls Online. So you can see here I'm going to take out a bit of gold from my bank, and one of the things that a lot of players recommend new players do is create a lot of their characters and then go ahead and go to the stable master and increase some of your mount skills each day, because this is something that can take quite a long time. It's obviously time gated per day, so if you're on your characters daily anyways, it really synergizes well to go and do this and then go to the mount person. And if it's just someone you're logging into to get the mail, you can actually have them parked right beside the mount person, and the whole process takes between 10 and 15 minutes to go through all your characters. So it's really not bad at all. I do recommend going for the speed version if you're planning on doing something more active on your player. However, I'm going to be doing carrying capacity because this person is pretty much going to become a material mule at this point. So that's why we're going with that. But you can see if you did that every single day, in addition to doing the money-making mail situation, you're going to be doing a fair bit of stuff for your account. And when you come back to this person and maybe one day you actually want to play them, you're going to have stuff unlocked, which is really, really nice. But like I was saying, is it too difficult to get all of these characters set up? Well, not really, actually. It's a pretty quick process. It took me about, I'm going to say 15 minutes. You could have probably done it in 10 minutes, but this is actually my first time going through the Greymoor starting area, so I was kind of confused for a little bit about where I go. And you'll see halfway through this, I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to teleport to Vardenfell and do the starting area that I know. But the big thing you only need 3 skill points, which is pretty easy to do. You get them really easily through leveling when you're starting. You should note that if you want to actively play on the character, you probably should use some of the skill points for actual skills first, and maybe do it a bit later. But if these are a bunch of alts you're making just to have this for money-making purposes, you can go ahead and put the 3 first skill points you get into your different hirelings and be ready to go right away. So you can see here, it took me a long time to kill this mammoth, but it did end up giving me a fair bit of experience. I then just way-shrined for 0 gold to where I wanted to go and start doing the rest of the leveling process, and I continued into the city. Now, the big thing to understand is you do need to have some of your crafting skills higher. I think it is like level 3 you need the crafting skills to be. And the easiest way to do this is to deconstruct items. Now, you can deconstruct items that you find on your way to this level on your character, or if you're someone who has a main character that runs a lot of dungeons, you can deconstruct things that are stored in your bank. So one of the easiest things I do is I go and run a dungeon, get a ton of stuff, and then put the items in my bank to be deconstructed at a later date. You can also go ahead and look for intricate items, which will give you a bit more experience when deconstructing them. You can see here I have kind of a mix of ones that I found and ones that I had in my bank already. Be careful not to deconstruct anything that you want to keep. A great feature for this is to lock the item so that there's no chance of you accidentally deconstructing it, but just check it out and see what you can do. You can see here I didn't have quite enough to get all the way to where I wanted to be for clothing. You do need to get to level 3 for each of them. And what I do end up doing here is I end up taking a bit of gold and buying a couple items off of the trading post, the guild merchant, to go and disenchant. So it works pretty well if you're looking for items that are intricate on the guild merchant, and they're pretty cheap. I'll show you in a second here once I take some of the gold out that I need, but it's pretty cheap to take them out, and it does give you a fair bit of experience. And the nice thing is, if you do end up buying more items than you end up needing, as you'll see I do here in a second, you can use them on your different characters as well. So if you're setting this up for multiple characters, you can buy kind of like a stack of them and then go ahead and use them on all your characters. But yeah, so what you're going to want to do is, if you're looking for clothing, you're going to go light armor and you're going to search. And you're going to kind of just look for the cheapest items that you can buy. You can get some higher level ones, or you can go for intricate. Both of them do very well at the low level, so it doesn't make a huge difference really. You're going to really easily get to level 3, but you can see here there is a intricate one that I do get. So we pick some of those up, and I did need some heavy stuff as well, so I go and pick that up as well. And it cost a few hundred gold, so it's really not much to invest if you don't want to go to the trouble of collecting all the stuff beforehand. If you do want to go to the trouble of doing that, it's not too bad either. A quick tip, if you're waiting for your purchased items to come, simply log out and log in, and your mail will be ready for you right when you come in. So that makes things a lot quicker. I don't know how long it actually takes if you just stay in game, but it's definitely longer than I'm willing to wait. But yeah, so you go ahead and just disenchant or deconstruct. I'm gonna just mix those up pretty much throughout this whole video probably, and I apologize. But you go ahead and get that, and then you can go and add your skill points to the hireling. So you can see here, we go to blacksmithing and we are level 3, and we just need 1 skill point to put into the miner hireling, who will send us some ore each day. We go to the clothing and we do the outfitter hireling, and then we go to woodworking and do the lumberjack. And now each day we will get 3 mail with different items that we can use. Now you can use these to sell them and just get raw gold, or if you're working on a crafter, you can funnel them all to your crafter and just have an endless supply of material that can be quite useful. Another way to really add to this is you can do the different crafting challenges each day that will give you a fair bit of gold. I believe it's around 600 gold, and you have the chance to get some pretty good items from there as well. So you can ultimately end up funneling those materials to your crafter to help you do the daily writs, which will increase their level of crafting and give you a good chance to get some awesome items. But yeah guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. It's the first sort of gold guide I've done in a long while, and hopefully it's not too confusing. I do hope to update the description or the kind of pinned comment with the different averages throughout the days as I keep going. But yeah guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.